This is an analysis from Alpha Business Media. You know, for over a decade, Nepal's business process outsourcing sector, its BPO sector, has been this quiet, steady success story. But that story is right now at a huge turning point. The rise of generative AI, well, it threatens to make the traditional call center model pretty much obsolete. So let's break down how this massive threat is actually creating a potential $500 million opportunity.
And this quote right here, it absolutely nails the situation. The very same technology that can automate thousands of customer service jobs is also creating an entirely new and way more valuable industry. It's a textbook case of disruption, and it's blowing the doors wide open for anyone agile enough to jump in.
All right, so to really get where we're going, we've got to understand where we've been. Nepal's BPO success was built on a pretty simple formula, right? Provide English-speaking customer support for global companies, but at a fraction of the cost. We call it labor arbitrage, and it's been a really vital engine for creating jobs. But that engine is about to hit a wall.
Look, the old model, it was basically a race to the bottom. It was all about competing on who had the lowest hourly rate. But generative AI voice agents, their marginal cost is practically zero. No human on Earth can compete with that on price. And this isn't some far-off futuristic threat. This seismic shift is happening right now as we speak.
But here's the twist. As that door closes, a much bigger one is swinging open. This disruption is creating a huge demand for a brand new kind of work, high-value data annotation. We're talking about a fundamental shift, moving from a model where Nepalese were just a cost center for Western companies to one where they become a critical part of the value creation chain for the world's most advanced technology.
So what is this new work exactly? It's called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF for short. Now, this isn't your grandma's data entry. This is high-level cognitive labor. You have human experts, people they call AI tutors, who are essentially teaching these AI models how to think and reason by judging their responses. They're providing that critical human feedback that aligns AI with our values of, being helpful and honest.
And you can bet this shift from repetitive tasks to real cognitive labor has some pretty profound economic implications. A traditional call center agent, they might be making $4 to $6 an hour. A skilled RLHF specialist, they can command $15 to $25 an hour, sometimes even more. That's a huge jump.
And the scale here is really significant. We're not talking about a couple of niche roles. This pivot has the potential to create over 15,000 high-quality, high-paying jobs for Nepal's educated workforce.
And all of this brings us to the headline number. If Nepal can manage to capture just a small slice of this global AI training market, if it can cultivate this new workforce, it represents a potential $500 million annual industry. I mean, that would completely dwarf the earnings of the current BPO sector.
So the obvious question is, why Nepal, right? What makes it so uniquely suited to capture this market ahead of established players like, say, India or the Philippines? Well, the answer lies in a really unique set of advantages.
It really comes down to three key things. First, a lot of Nepal's graduates have a pretty neutral English accent, which is actually ideal for training unbiased AI models. Second, there's this large pool of underemployed university graduates, a cognitive surplus, if you will, just ready to be deployed. And third, their cultural distance from all the intense Western polarization allows them to be more objective trainers, which is crucial for creating neutral AI.
So the talent is there, the opportunity is definitely there, but there is one major man-made barrier that's standing in the way, one thing preventing this entire vision from actually happening.
The single biggest obstacle? It's outdated banking policy. The central bank's rules for receiving foreign payments are slow, they're paper-based. They were basically designed for a 20th century economy of physical goods, like shipping containers. This is completely incompatible with the high-volume, super fast-paced world of global tech, where companies pay thousands of contractors every single week. They simply will not tolerate that kind of bureaucratic friction.
But here's the good news. The problem is entirely solvable. The path forward is actually pretty clear. The government needs to create a modern digital service export framework with a simplified one-window payment system. And at the same time, the industry can partner up with universities to create certifications for AI interaction specialists, building a verifiable pipeline of world-class talent.
So this brings us to the strategic choice. And this isn't some 10-year plan we can leisurely debate. This is a race against time that is going to define the future of Nepal's role in the global digital economy. There are two very distinct paths ahead.
See, this opportunity is highly perishable. The window is open right now, but believe me, it is closing fast. As AI models get better and better at correcting themselves, the need for this kind of human training is going to shrink. The window to really establish a dominant position is estimated to be only about 36 months. That makes the next 12 months of policy reform absolutely critical.
And the stakes? Well, they couldn't be clearer. On one side, you have the alpha scenario. Decisive action leads to a $500 million market, thousands of high-wage jobs, and Nepal establishing itself as this neutral, high-quality hub for AI training, the Switzerland of AI alignment. On the other side, the missed opportunity. Hesitation means the advantage is lost to more agile competitors, the BPO sector just stagnates, and the nation's best and brightest minds just fuel a brain drain.
And that's really the bottom line here. This is about so much more than just one industry. It's about securing a foothold in the economy of the future. It's a strategic race for relevance itself.
At the end of the day, the talent is ready and global demand is absolutely surging. The technology has forced a choice, and the clock is ticking. You could say the starting gun has already fired. The only question that remains is, which path will be chosen?